Do you feel like God has forgotten about you? Do you feel like insignificant? Like your life just really doesn't matter to God anymore? And maybe it's your own fault. Maybe because it's all of the mistakes you made, all of those errors, all of those times that you knew better, but still your hand reached into that cookie jar and there you go, messing around with sin again, playing around in that dark, nasty mud again, just like the prodigal son. You feel like God has rejected you? You feel like you don't matter anymore? Well, I want to tell you, God today wants you to know that he will never abandon you. I want to take you to a journey into the dark, nasty, dirty lands of a little boy. And he was rejected. He was insignificant. He was, you could say, forgotten about. He was just a little shepherd boy, a job that even a little tiny girl could do, an insignificant job. And his own family, listen up, check this out, pay attention. His own family forgot about him. I want you to go on a journey with me today. Let's go back into the past and let's find out why today you're going to find out that God has never abandoned you and that he will never forget you. Pay attention. I know you need to hear this. This is a word from God. You've been praying and asking, Lord, speak to me. Lord, just give me some hope. Let me know that it's not over. And today is the day God said, I'm going to speak to you today. I want to give you hope today. Look what it says in 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7. But the Lord said to Samuel, don't judge by his appearance or height, for I have rejected him. The Lord doesn't see things the way you see them. People judge by outward appearances, but the Lord looks at the heart. You know, King Saul had begun to rebel against God and disobey God, and even got involved into witchcraft and all type of craziness. And so God had rejected him as a king because of his disobedience. Because it says this in the Bible in 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 22, that obedience is better than sacrifice. And so this man had become disobedient, and God had turned his face from Saul. Because of this rebelliousness, this disobedience, he was involved in witchcraft and all type of different things. And he had set his eyes on another king. And so God told Samuel, the prophet at that time, to go to this little foreign land right there in Israel. And I'm gonna choose a family. And out of this family, I'm gonna choose, and there was 10 sons, many sons, strong sons, sons that were smart, sons that were full of power. He said, I'm gonna choose a king out of them. And so they went. And there, man, all these sons come one by one, strong, tall, powerful, intelligent, eloquent. Man, these guys were the next king. Surely these were the next king. We're going somewhere. I want to take you in this journey because this is you. This is how your life is right now. I know that you can relate to this. I know that this is going to resonate. And he said, God doesn't judge by the outward appearance. You know what God judges? You know how God sees people? He sees people from their heart. I know. You feel like God doesn't love you because of all the times you failed him. You feel like God is all he's gonna do is just bring down that gavel and say, you know what, this time I gotta punish you real bad because you backslid real long this time. You stayed in that sin real long and you know better. You knew about the gospel. You grew up in the church. You know about praise and worship. You know about obedience. And there you go, continuously running after that sin. Hey, I got to punish you now. No, listen up. Maybe you feel like David because God had started picking out all these strong men, tall men. And Samuel's like, surely this is the next king. God's like, no. I'm looking at the heart of a person. Look what he says. Then Jesse told his son Abinadab to step forward and walk in front of Samuel, but Samuel said, this is not the one the Lord has chosen. Next, Jesse summoned Shemaiah, but Samuel said, neither is this the one the Lord has chosen. In the same way, all 7 of Jesse's sons were presented to Samuel, but Samuel said to Jesse, the Lord has not chosen any of these. But Samuel asked, are these all the sons you have? Oh, I forgot. I do have one other son, but look at what he says about him. There is still the youngest Jesse replied, but he's out in the fields watching the sheep and the goats. Send for him at once, Samuel said. We will not sit down to eat until he arrives. So Jesse sent for him. He was dark and handsome with beautiful eyes. And the Lord said, this is the one. Anoint him. Man, his own dad forgot about him. He said, oh, man, I forgot. I do have one more son, but he's out there all the way in the back doing the dirty little jobs that little boys and girls do. Surely you don't want to talk to him. Samuel said, no, we're not even going to sit down until he comes in front of him. And as soon as he walked in the presence of Samuel, as soon as he walked in the presence of his father and his brothers, man, God said, that's the one. That's the one I'm going to use. I want you to know today, listen, that's you. You're not forgotten about. You have not been abandoned. God has not rejected you. You might seem short in your eyes. You might seem like nobody cares about you in your own eyes. You might feel like God has forgotten you in your own eyes. But let me tell you something. God sees a heart. He knows that you want to please God. He knows that you're trying to please God. He knows that there's sin in your life and that you're struggling and you're battling and you're failing. But you know what? You get back up. You get back up and you say, God, please, Lord, I want to change. I don't want to be like this. And you're all the way in the back. You feel like, man, nobody cares about you. Nobody knows how insignificant you feel inside. But I want you to know God does. And God has set his eyes on you. And God has chosen you. And God has anointed you. And let me tell you something. He anointed you and chose you before you were even born. Before you were even born, you were in the mind of an amazing creator. And he loved you. And he knew about your errors. And he knew about the backsliding. He knew about the failures. He knew about your battles. He knew about your struggles. And he still said, hey, come. Come to me, all those who are burdened and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. I will fortify you. Come back to the front. That's the one I chose. That's the one I set my eyes on. Let me tell you something. He was anointed to be king. God has anointed you. God has chosen you, and this is a fact. This is the word of God for you today. But let me tell you something. From the time that David was anointed to the time that he actually became king, there was a period of 16 years. Can I show you what happened to him in those 16 years? It wasn't the palace and high living and good eating and fine wines and cheeses. No, it was hardship. It was hardship. Look what happens. 1 Samuel chapter 22, verse 1 through 3. So David left Gath and escaped to the cave of Adullam. Soon his brothers and all of his relatives joined him there. Then others began coming, men who were in trouble or in debt or who were just discontented, until David was a captain of about 400 men. Later, David went to Mizpah in Moab, where he asked the king, please allow my father and my mother to live here with you until I know what God is going to do for me. But I thought you were anointed. I thought God set his eyes on you. I thought it was supposed to be easy peasy now. Gum drops and lollipops. I thought the Christian life was supposed to be just nothing but victory and victory, glory and glory, triumph to triumph. I thought you weren't supposed to struggle. I thought you weren't supposed to go through no battles anymore. I thought because you were chosen, anointed by God, that surely, now everything's going to change for you. Financial prosperity, prosperity in your marriage, prosperity in your mental health, prosperity in your physical health, blessings and treasures and promises of God being fulfilled. What's going on? Why are you still in your addictions? Why are you still struggling with those same old sins? Why are you still struggling just to make one day go by? Why do you feel like you're still a failure? Why do you still feel insignificant? Let me tell you something. There was a process that God was doing with David. And God, in this process, when he was running for Saul for 16 years, being chased by 3,000 to 5,000 men into mountains, in caves, this man was living in a cave with people that were running from the law, people that owed the city money, people that were rejected by society, and they ran to David. And you know what? David was not happy. David was struggling. David was in a battle. David was in problem. His own mother and father, he had to go hide his own mom and dad. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? But he was anointed, but he was chosen. I want you to know that the battles that you're in, that the struggles that you're in right now, that the things that you're passing through right now as we speak, when you turn off this YouTube video, that battle is still going to be there. Those struggles are still going to be there. That war that you're going through in your mind is still going to be there. This YouTube video is not going to change the situation, but I want to give you hope because God did not abandon David. He was anointed by God. He was chosen by God. He was called by God. But there was a process, and I want you to know you're in the process. Those things that you're going through, God knows about them. And you know what he's doing? He's using them to mature you. He's using them to teach you how to walk by faith and not by your emotions. I know you feel like a failure. I know you feel like you've rejected God so many times that surely he's going to reject you back. I know you feel like God is about to punish you. No, I want you to know this. God chose you and God anointed you. And God is using those circumstances, those battles, those failures, those struggles right now. What is he doing? To refine you, to change your character, to change your way of thinking, to teach you that we walk by faith and not by sight. The Christian life is not about emotions. It's about believing in God's word, that God has chosen you, and if God has chosen you, then who can be against you? That you can do all things through Jesus Christ who gives you strength. That you are more than a conqueror. That's what God says about you. That you are his masterpiece, the apple of his eye. That he scribbles your name in the palm of his hands. Who does that? Somebody that's in love with you. God's not mad at you. God is madly in love with you. Look what happens. He becomes king, finally. Finally, the problems are over. Finally, the battles are over. Finally, the struggle's over. I'm the king now. I'm anointed. I've been chosen. Now I'm ruling. I have a kingdom to reign over. But look what happens. Then David confessed to Nathan. Confess what? He said, I've sinned against the Lord. Nathan replied, yes, but the Lord has forgiven you, and you won't die for the sin. Nevertheless, because you have shown utter contempt for the word of the Lord by doing this, your child will die. After Nathan returned to his home, the Lord sent a deadly illness to the child of David and Uriah, his wife. David begged God to spare the child. He went without food and lay all night on the bare ground. The elders of his household pleaded with him to get up and eat with them, but he refused. Then on the seventh day, the child died. David's advisors were afraid to tell him. He wouldn't listen to reason why the child was ill. They said, what drastic thing will he do when we tell him that the child is dead? When David saw them whispering, he realized what had happened. Is the child dead, he asked. Yes, they replied. He is dead. Then David got up from the ground, washed himself, put on lotions, and changed his clothes. He went to the tabernacle and worshiped the Lord. After that, he returned to the palace and was served food and ate. Man. King David put to shame adultery, murder, judgment, discipline. But I thought he was a king. Look what a failure he is. He's been put to shame in front of the whole city, in front of the whole country. The king, the great king, the city of David was named after him. And look what he does. Murder, adultery. Are you in sin today? Are you struggling with a certain sin today? Are you in the middle of a battle today? Can I tell you something? God hasn't abandoned you. God hasn't forsaken you. Even as a king, David was going through these battles and through these failures and through these struggles. And I know that you seem like, hey, because you see yourself the way that humans see God's love. You know, we judge God by the way that we love one another. Very conditional, drawing lines. Like if somebody offends you and you cross this line, that's it. And many times, man, we feel like that's God. That we've sinned so much, so many repetitive sins, so many times that we failed God, so many times we repented and fell into the same sin again, that surely God is going to draw that line. I want you to know this. There are consequences for sin. There is. It's a price to pay. Sin is not free. And sometimes even with tears and weeping and asking God to have mercy, those consequences are going to come. But it's not over. When God disciplines you, he says it doesn't feel good, but what it does, it produces a fruitful, righteous way of living. If you're his son, if you're his daughter, God is going to discipline you. God is going to deal with you, but it's always for your good, and you're going to come out of it. Look what happens in Acts chapter 13, verse 36. This is not a reference to David. For after David had done the will of God in his own generation, he died and was buried with his ancestors, and his body decayed. You know what they're talking about? King David. Where is this at? In the book of Acts, the New Testament. He's referring back to King David. That after all the failures, after all the battles, after the adultery, the murder, it says that he did everything that God asked him to do. What a legacy that he left behind. A great king. Yeah, you're always going to see those scars. Those scars are relevant for you. It reminds you of your failures and your times where you were in sin. And you're always going to understand when you look at those scars, man, look at that. Hurt. I remember that. But you're going to heal. God's going to restore you. And God is going to use you to leave a legacy behind for your family, for your children. You've been chosen by God. You've been anointed by God. And you're not insignificant, and God has not forgotten about you. God knows who you are. He knows your name. He knows your struggles. He knows your battles. And what God is doing, he's refining you. It has a purpose. And it says in Romans chapter 8, verse 28 through 30, it says that God works everything out for your good, for those who have been called by God and those who love God. Can I tell you something? I know that you love the Lord. That's why you're listening to this video. That's why you're paying attention. And I hope that this word has encouraged you and given you hope. Let it resonate in your heart and begin to get up and run and get back into your prayer closet. Get back into your praise and worship because God has not forgotten you. Praise the Lord. I hope this video has been a blessing to you. I hope this video encouraged you. If you would like to show your appreciation for this video or for this YouTube channel, there's two different ways you can show your appreciation. The first way, it's a super thanks. It doesn't matter the amount. Whatever you give from your heart, it's a blessing to my life and is greatly appreciated. Also, I would like to encourage you to become a channel member. A channel member has amazing perks, shorts, long content videos, archive videos, live one-on-ones when I go live. Usually on Sunday, I do go live. By the way, if you would like to catch me one-on-one and have some chats, if you're a member, you can have a one-on-one chat with me. All those are done. If you look down in the description below, you'll find that it'll take you to a link that's going to take you straight to my YouTube account, and there you can become a member. If you're not a YouTube subscriber, please do me a favor. Smash that button. Become a subscriber. Make sure you hit that bell, turn on all notifications, so every time I drop a video, you'll be blessed by the Lord. Until next time, I love you so much.